He's the former captain. It is indeed my patreon.com/always Irish partner. I believe it's Mike Goolsby on the line. Mike, what's going on?
Johnny, how's your night going, brother?
Mike, you know how my night's going, dude. Even when I'm worrying about things, there's nothing I'd rather do than talk about Notre Dame football to everybody on a Saturday night. There's nothing I'd rather do, Mike. I'm sick. I'm sick in the head. I love this stuff.
So I'm moving around the house. I've been in, I've been out. I was listening earlier. You mentioned worry. You and I filmed an episode a couple days ago. Was it yesterday we filmed? I can't keep track. Long story short, John, I'm back on the side of optimism.
Oh man! But Mike, Mike,
I'm like,
people don't realize how much you waver. You guys, Mike will be like he rides these waves, and he'll be like, John, I feel pretty good. And then out of nowhere, one day you'll just be like, John, I'm not feeling it today. You're like, I don't feel right. Something doesn't feel good, John. So you ride those waves. What's got you riding back up?
This is true. Yeah. Cause I will send you a very cryptic text message at, 12:15 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then you wake up and feel completely different. So here's where I'm at in terms of, again, 4, 5, 6 days ago, incredibly optimistic. I think we win by 10 points. And I take the over. It's 46.5 last I checked. I take the over. And then the offensive line news comes out, then the complete shift. I'm in the dumps. And then today I'm more optimistic. And I've been thinking about the offensive line shift towards youth. A little bit. We got a little bit younger, much younger at left tackle. We got a little bit smaller, much smaller at left tackle. But I'm sitting there going, and we talked about this on Patreon. Why? Schematically, is there a why? Is there a reason? And then I'm sitting there going, positively speaking, and I don't pretend to be, some X's and O's guru, but the last 2 years, last year specifically, John, it was just lean on people in the run game, crowd the box, duo, double team a down lineman, roll off to linebacker. And I'm like, with this athletic young group at the offensive line, I'm thinking a lot more misdirection, counters, pulls, all this fun stuff in the run game. And then beyond that, I'm like, Elko, Riley Leonard, the familiarity between the two. We've talked about this on Patreon. Does Elko just sit back and let his front four kind of make hay, play a little bit of zone coverage? Egos are involved, John, coaches. I kind of believe Elko's going to try to heat Riley up, bring extra pressure. You with me?
Yeah.
So with some of this misdirection in the run game, brother, those are home runs for Jeremiah.
Oh, you
knock one guy, you knock one blitzer, you knock one, kind of slanting, rocking defensive lineman, you knock them out of their gap. That's a home run, brother.
Ooh, man. Mike, that's been one thing I've been asking the callers and myself all night is, what will Denbrock allowed A&M and what they're doing, or is he going to go in there guns blazing? Like, I am so curious to genuinely just see what the plan's going to be to start out. I have no idea.
I'll say this, and make what you will of a presser, press conference, Marcus Freeman. Marcus is continually 1% better every day, Marcus, at those pressers, right? But like a Denbrock walks up to the pulpit, and he's like, hey, you guys got any juice? Mark with glasses makes a quick meme about it. The guy doesn't miss. And I'm just telling you, Mike Denbrock doesn't seem to be sweating. He ain't nervous.
Yeah, he don't coach scared. He don't coach scared. And I love that about him. And Notre Dame needs that.
The third go around at Notre Dame, he's in not necessarily the twilight of his career, but this last stop is meaningful. You understand?
Yeah.
So there's some Notre Dame-ness kind of mixed into this, but yeah, today working out in the land, like I'm just kind of thinking about this. I'm like, I feel good. I got some pep in my step about the game.
Oh, I like that, dude. I like hearing that from you. And then, all right, we got a question for you that just came in, $5 holler from Happy Gilmore's brother, Andrew, Patreon guy too. Mike, very simple. Do we have a wide receiver that can get over the top? And we've been talking about that a lot with this wide receiver hype. What I mean, I know it's a good question because I don't know the answer.
So real quick, based out of your starters, Andrew, Chris Mitchell might be the one, but he's kind of been Faison's been rotating with him to the field. Chris Mitchell talks about he's got 4.3 speed. I've been around athletes my whole life. I've heard a lot of guys, proclaim to be faster than they are. They just had a bad start, yada, yada, yada. So kind of wait and see. I do believe KK Smith, who I doubt will start, we talked about this again at length, was at the spring game, talking to the wide receiver room, over a dinner, like, hey, who's the fastest? KK's the fastest guy on the team, fastest wide receiver. Well, is he going to play? Is he going to start? Who knows? So do you have somebody? Yes. Are they going to play? Who knows? But, John, we've talked about this on the other platform, Patreon. In my mind, dude, quick game, you're a little bit worried about the pass rush. You're a little bit worried about your young offensive line. Quick game. Riley Leonard played a lot of quick game, almost West Coast-ish at Duke. Get the ball out early. Wide receiver's going to have to make a play and make somebody miss a tackle. Shuck and jive, brother.
Yeah, man. It's
so you might have a quote unquote long passing play, John, but it might be Jaden Thomas stepping out of a tackle and going for 40, right?
Yeah, it might be 7 and the rest one move and then run, get a block and then a juke and a run. I don't know, Mike. This is going to be and can I ask you this? And this is right up your alley too. How comfortable are you with the plan, with the rotation, with these linebackers? That's right up your alley. Would that drive you nuts if they're moving guys in and out too much for you to find a groove? Or do you love this because you're going to be able to maximize everybody's strengths situationally? How do you react to that planned rotation there?
Yeah, well, when you're as anxious as I was as a player, John, you don't love it, right? Because you do want to kind of get in the flow of the game. You don't want to be looking over your shoulder, right?
Yeah.
And you want to be able to play free and that, like, oh, shoot, if I, make a false step, I'm going to get yanked I miss a tackle, I'm going to get yanked. I'm going to sit for 3 series. So me personally, I don't love it, but I totally get it given the makeup of the room this year. It's a bunch of unproven guys, a lot of young talent. Jack Kaiser, like we've said before, is going to kind of be the room mother in that regard. So it makes total sense. I think 5 is maybe a little bit aggressive, just given the fact that we don't really play a nickel, we don't really play a rover. Rather, we play like a nickel defense. I've said on record, I think Jalen Snead's the only person physically in that room that can actually play rover. I mean, Jaden Osbury's not a nickel. He's not a rover. He's too small. But that room as a whole, bro, it's a ton of talent. It's just like, 2-3 classes in a row, Marcus Freeman, Al Golden stacking talent, and you finally get a chance to see it kind of roll through.
Yeah, oh man, there's just so much on this first game. And it's so Notre Dame-y, Mike, that this all falls together. And then you have the offensive line issue, and it happens to match up when the week 1 game's against a team with a strong defensive front. Like, it's the most known scenario of all time. I just need them to come through, Mike. We've just been burned so many times in these big game moments. Doesn't have to be pretty. I just need you to get through this one. Come on, give it to me.
100%. And like I said, I'm 10 points. 10-point win. I feel good. I feel real good about it. I mean, like across the board, we got a better quarterback, better running backs, offensive line suspect, defensive line's probably a wash, better linebackers, better secondary. You talk about this a lot, the mix of youth with a little bit of experience. It's a nice blend. I totally see all that. But we're hesitant. You got to protect your heart. I totally get it. You got to protect your emotions. One other thing, and I'll leave you with this. It's like we talked about, does Riley Leonard get enough attention? Is there enough focus on his progression at the position in terms from like the media perspective? It's like he's kind of been hiding, which is great. Let him develop, kind of work after missing spring, whatever. anything Jeremiah Love related, John, tends to be kind of like lazy in our role. If I'm like, oh yeah, Jeremiah Love's going to be the MVP of the offensive MVP of the, I'm just telling you, I think Jeremiah Love could be incredibly special for us. And then like, we sort of like sweep it under the rug because we don't want to believe it's too good to be true. How's that, John? You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get
People
that.
don't want to. Dude, that's like, yeah, but Aeneas Williams and J.D. Price, it's like, yeah. For sure. They're great players, great kids, all this other stuff. But, like, let yourself, like, just think about how special Jeremiah Love could be and should be and ought to be for our offense. Does that make sense, dude?
Yeah, that does make sense. But the question people are asking now, Mike, is they want to know if you're giving this to us straight or if you have the tinfoil hat on in the old garage there in Nebraska, or are we doing this straight up? No tinfoil conspiracies.
Are we doing it straight up? There's no tinfoil hat on, but no, I mean, I had a cocktail or two.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that's just getting wound up here on the weekend. Mike, thanks for giving me a call, man. Anything else on your mind? We got Tim Hyde's in the chat tonight. Everybody's getting worked up, man. We're 2 weeks out. Everybody's coming out to play. I love this.
This is my 2 cents on this whole the After Dark show. I just think it's perfect. And I can't wait for it to grow and grow and grow because it's just like, yeah, with the season around the corner, what are you going to be doing? Watching some baloney on Netflix?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you tune in, you give it a listen, you kind of get lathered up in Notre Dame football. It's a gift to us all, and I appreciate you.
And so, Mike, thanks for giving us a call, dropping in on us, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll talk to you.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
We'll see you, buddy.
See you. Dude, I almost didn't know it was him. It's just got the number, but it doesn't say Goolsby on it. I'm glad that he put in the chat that it was him. I didn't even know.